Masha Wamalaki Shah. That's Yahweh being the name of the dear Heavenly Father, and the Son Yahweh Shah being his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This is Brother Donovan with the Battle Axes of the Most High, just coming at you with another edification for the nation, man. Coming at y'all another Thursday night, man. You know, just continue to build up the ministry, man. Spread this truth, spread this gospel, and do the things that we need to do that's pleasing to the Most High. Man, the title of this class is "What Are You Willing to Sacrifice?" What are you willing to sacrifice? Because coming into this truth, we understand that, hey, we know we got to give up a lot of things, give up things of this world, right? Guess what? Whether it been money, drugs, clothes, females, anything, whatever the case may be, man. You know we have to give up something coming into this truth. No, brother, nobody has ever came into this truth perfect. Nobody will, hey, Lord willing, once you come, that's how you leave, right? But hey, coming into this truth, we got to understand we have to sacrifice things, right? We understand that we don't sacrifice now. We don't literally go on the altar. We don't do all these things. Guess what? We make our bodies a living sacrifice, right? That's why the title is, what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your body for the Most High God? Are you willing to give up the things that's not for the Lord? Are you willing to give up all that lust? Are you willing to give up all these things that you used to do in the world for the Lord? And that's kind of just the title of this class, man. We're kind of just going to get into making your body a living sacrifice, man. Shalom, shalom, Officer Barakai, man. First precept we're going to go, man, is Proverbs chapter 21. And we're going to start at verse number 3. The book of Proverbs. Salaki Israel. The book of Proverbs chapter 21, verse 3. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. Read that one more time. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. Because, hey, to do justice, man, doing the right thing. Because justice is doing the right thing when nobody else is looking. That's like having integrity, right? Justice is upholding the things which is wrong, and guess what, making accountable for these things. Like even how Rogers talk had, hey, take accountability, right? That's justice. To do justice is, hey, to rebuke your brother and sister if they doing wrong. Guess what? To do justice is to rebuke and correct yourself, man. To do justice to your body and to your spirit, man. And it says, and judgment, to do justice and judgment, man. Hey, Leviticus 19:17, man. Righteous judgment, man. Because guess what? He said, hey, this right here is more acceptable than sacrifices, man. Guess what? Your body and the things that you do pertaining to this Bible is more important than any sacrifice you could ever give the Most High God. Do justice for the Most High God. Give out proper judgment and righteous judgment for the Most High God. Because guess what? Whenever he come back, guess what? When Christ come back and, hey, they all sitting on Judgment Day, that's what he going to judge them by. He going to do the just thing. Guess what? He going to give out righteous judgment. But this is what for the Israelites to do right now, to help get our brothers and sisters back to this marriage, man. Read it one more time. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. Shalom, shalom, done Israel, man. Shalom, shalom, Mark. Shalom, Garden, Texas, vegan. Shalom, shalom, sis, shalom. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 35. Matter of fact, we go there first. Now, most of all of these is going to be precepts one to another, so you can write them with each other. It's just basically going into making your body the living sacrifice now, because we know we don't sacrifice anymore. The book of Sirach, chapter 35, verse 1. He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough. I'm going to stop right there, man. It said, hey, he that keepeth the law, what's the law, man? The law, statute, commandments. Guess what? The things that you get in the Torah, the first 5 books, things that Moses wrote, these are the laws, man. It says, he that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough. That's all you need, right? Because the Most High God, hey, never wanted us to do nothing, no more, no less. He gave us a way out with offerings, with the sacrifice, so that he could be pleased with these things. But he always wanted us to do the right thing, to do just, and to, hey, give out proper judgment. It says, he that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough. He that taketh heed to the commandment, offering a peace offering. Because guess what? Back then, a peace offering for the Levitical priests, that was a whole different thing. That was either a bull, a ram, a goat. Guess what? All these things, the turtle dove. Now he's saying, hey, just keep the commandments. That's your peace offering now. That's my peace. Right? Verse 2. He that requiteth a good turn offered fine flour, and he that giveth alms sacrificeth praise, man. He that requiteth a good turn, man. You doing justice now. You doing the things right. You helping your brother and sister out in the times of need. You making your body the living sacrifice for your peers. You doing the things pertaining to the Most High God now. It said, hey, you done turn. You requited a good turn. You offer fine flour. Now that's another offering that you giving. Right? It says, and he that giveth alms sacrificeth praise. Come on now, giving alms. What does alms have to go into? Yeah, it can go into money, because guess what? Hey, we do need these things, right? But guess what? It can go into food, helping our brothers and sisters. Guess what? Going into the labor that you put in for the Most High God. The labor that you put in for your congregation. The labor that you put in for your family to keep y'all in the truth, man. Fasting, praying, man. Repenting. All these things are sacrifices to your body. Hey, those are things pleasing to the Most High God. These are the things that's pleasing to us as Israelites when we see other brothers and sisters making their bodies a living sacrifice. Right? Verse 4. Verse 3, Salakia. To depart from wickedness is a thing pleasing to the Lord. Because when you're making your body a living sacrifice, when you're giving out, when you're getting justice now, when you're doing these things, guess what? When you're getting and receiving proper judgment, well, giving and receiving Salaki. Guess what? When you keeping the commandments, when you keeping the laws now, all of these things is turning you from wickedness. Why? Because you're turning to the commandments now. You're turning to the law. You're doing the things that's what the Most High God is pleased of. It says to depart from wickedness is a thing pleasing to the Lord. That's the thing that the Most High God always wanted all of us to do from the beginning. But hey, now times has changed. Guess what? He gave grace to everybody now. Everybody's not going to be willing to do these things. We know back then, you couldn't make a sacrifice for some certain things. Now brothers and sisters do anything nowadays. Guess what? Whore out the sisters, whore out themselves, whore out the brothers. Guess what? Whore out their children. All of these things, man. And it's wrong and it's wicked. But these are the things they do now. Now that they have liberty, now they have space to repent. Now they're not getting persecuted right away. All these things they had, it's just free will now. That's why the Lord said, make your body a living sacrifice in these last days. Why? Because it's a hard thing now. It's a hard thing to make your body a living sacrifice. Why? Because you're not giving your body now to the devil to do wicked things, to change the natural use of your bodies now. Guess what? You standing up to be a king. That's a sacrifice. Why? Because guess what? You sacrificing being popular, being cool, right? You sacrificing doing all these things for the Most High God. You're doing the things for the Lord now. And that's the biggest sacrifice you got to give right now in these days, right? It says, to depart from wickedness is a thing pleasing to the Lord, and to forsake unrighteousness is a propitiation. Thou shalt not appear empty before the Lord. And I like how he did these things, because all of these is offerings. Physical offerings that you can give, right? Spiritual offerings that you can give, right? And then the next thing he say, you shouldn't appear empty before the Lord. Why? Because you should be doing these things. From verses 1 through 3, these are the things you should be doing to the Most High God. That way you don't appear empty for the Lord. Hey, we know that, hey, we actually are. Whenever we come to our feast days, when at the end of these high holidays, we know we bring gifts. We bring food. We bring, drinks, anything that we need to do. But more importantly, man, bring yourself. Come in the right spirit. Guess what? Depart from wickedness and unrighteousness before you get anywhere. Get away from all of these things. So that way when you come with your brothers and sisters, your body is right. Your spirit is right, man. And more importantly, you're right with the Most High God at the end of the day, man. And guess what? You were quitting a good turn now. You giving alms. You helping out now. These are the things that the Most High God is pleased with. Because we know some brothers and sisters not as financially stable and not financially able as others, right? We know that, hey, we in the same captivity. But guess what? That's why he said make your body a living sacrifice. Why? Because you can help. If you can walk, you can help. If you got enough muscle, if you got enough strength, you can help out. How? Guess what? Trash might be needed taken out, right? Restrooms might be needed to be clean. Chairs might be needed to straighten up. These are things that you can do to help. And these requite. It says, he that requiteth a good turn offered fine flour. And he that giveth alms sacrificeth praise. Come on now, because now you don't want to be seen of men. Guess what? You sacrificing that praise. You don't, oh, look at me now, y'all. Look at me. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. No. You're doing this for the Most High God, so now that's your sacrifice. So you're not worried about hearing what man got to say. Because you know the Most High God, at the end of the day, you're not going to appear empty before him. These are the things that you can lay out. Be like, hey, Lord, I made my body a living sacrifice. These are the things that I did for you. Now the Most High God to weigh them things in the balance and see how I appear out, right? It says, for all these things are to be done because of the commandment. These are the things that must be done for the commandments, right? If you're keeping the commandments, you're making your body a living sacrifice. He always makes it one and one, man. Always. These are the things that's, come on now. Watch this, verse 6. The offering of the righteous maketh the altar fat, and the sweet savor thereof is before the Most High. Verse 7. The sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten. Man, what's just, man? Any brother and sister, man, drop the precept, man. What's just, man? He said the sacrifice of a just man is acceptable. Because coming to this truth, you might hear you got to be perfect. But perfect of the world and perfect of the Most High God is two different things, man. When you come into this truth, man, the Lord wants you to be perfect through his eyes, right? He wants you to be just. Now, what's just, man? Let me go ahead and go get it, man, for edification, man. Let's go to Proverbs, chapter 24. We're going to start at verse 16. It says, for a just man falleth 7 times, and riseth up again. But the wicked shall fall into mischief. It says a just man going to fall 7 times, but he going to rise back up. Because the thing is, when you come into this truth, you might think, oh, I got to be perfect. I can't mess up. I can't do this. Most of God say, hey, well then, hey, you might not just be a just man. A just man gonna fall. A just man gonna mess up sometimes. A just sister gonna mess up sometimes. You might have overcooked that chicken a little too much for your husband. And husband, you might, hey, worked a little bit, hey, you might have did a little bit too much. And your wife didn't appreciate it. Guess what? We might all fall sometimes. We may fall short. We might not have read as much as we wanted to that day. We might not have studied as much as we wanted to that day. Guess what? We might not have did as much for the Most High God as we know that we should have. But that's why he said a just man gonna fall 7 times. But it's up to you to get back up again, man. That's how you make your body a living sacrifice. You know you tired. You know you don't work all these hours. Guess what? I know Israelites work the most hours out of everybody in the world, man. We work more hours than any brother and sister ever could imagine or fathom. We know we tired. We know these things, man, because of the curses. We know this. But are you going to make your body a living sacrifice for the Most High God? You just made your body a sacrifice for Paul and Stephen, your managers. Because guess what? You didn't have to get up and go to work. You was tired. But you had to get up because you got to provide for your family. Or you got to get some money to pay the bills. But let's do the same thing for the Most High God, man. Because he'll tell you. This is how you buy your way into the kingdom. This is how you get in. By making your body a living sacrifice, man. You might be tired. Oh, man, I don't want to read today. Shit, let me sit up. Matter of fact, let me stand up and read. Guess what? Defeat these things, man. Because it says the sacrifice of a just man is acceptable. These are the things that's acceptable to the Most High God, man. Be just through the Most High God eyes. He know you're going to fall, but get up. Don't fall into mischief. Don't be wicked, man. It says, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten. So now when you appear to the Lord, you won't be empty because he's going to remember these things that you did for him. He's going to remember these sacrifices. And you're going to be happy for these things. You're going to be proud of the things that you did for the Most High God. And guess what? You might have sacrificed back then when you was playing sports. I know I did. Playing football, I sacrificed a lot, man. Guess what? A lot of time. I sacrificed a lot of time, money. Guess what? A lot of things. Trying to be the best player in the NFL, trying to go to the NFL. Now, I'm trying to make my body a living sacrifice and put more things on the line for the Most High God now. Things that's not worthy of my time, I put it to the side now. Because I want to give the Most High God my main focus, my main attention now. So that he can give me the increase as he sees fit, man. Watch this. Verse 8. Give the Lord his honor with a good eye. Because that's another thing too. When you giving your body as a living sacrifice, it says give the honor with a good eye. Why? Watch this. I'm gonna finish this out. I'm gonna get the precept, man. And diminish not from the first fruits of thine hands. It said don't diminish from the first fruit of your hands, man. Give your Lord the first. Why? Matter of fact, I'm gonna get two. I'm gonna get two real quick. For the first part, this is where we're gonna go. It says, give the Lord his honor with a good eye, right? Because why do we gotta give the things to the Lord with a good eye? I'm finna show you. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Because, hey, he said, you got to serve me. You got to give me the glory and the honor with a good eye. You can't give it to him. Here, man. Here, Lord. Get this. Here, Lord. I already did my whole day, but here, you can have this. Don't give him the skimps. He wants your first, man. He wants your stuff before the 9 to 5. He wants your stuff before your kids. Before you give a kiss to your wife or a kiss to your child, give a kiss to the Most High God, man. Guess what? What's the kiss that we need to give? We know we literally can't kiss him, man. Guess what? Throw up a prayer, man. Read a little bit in your Bible, man. These are the sacrifices that's pleasing to the Most High God. You want to get a close relationship with the Most High God? Make your body a living sacrifice for him and watch what he does to your life, man. I'm telling you. Because it says, hey, because you serve, it said verse 47 in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Because he gives us everything, man. He's the one that wakes you up at night. Oh, man, let me go to the restaurant. He the one that wakes you up in the morning to get up to go to work. He the one that gives you enough energy, enough strength, just that little bit to push you through the day, man. He might send something out. He might just send, guess what, another brother from another part of the truth, right? He might be in another congregation. He might just see him at, hey, shalom, sis. Shalom, bro. And guess what? That little something right there push you through the rest of the day, man. Push you through the rest of the week. Or if you got brothers and sisters in your congregation, picking you up, uplifting you. These are the things the Most High God did for the abundance of all things. Why? Because the Most High God put them in the truth just like you. The Most High God gave us law, statutes, commandments just like them. He gave us everything. And the only thing that he wants back is to give him his honor with a good eye. Just give it back to him with a good eye. Everything that he's given to you, give it back to him with a good eye. He did it to you cheerfully. He didn't say like, oh, here, Donovan. Here, you can have some understanding of this Bible. Here, oh, damn, here, quit asking. He didn't do it like that, man. He's pleased to see you doing these things, man. Why? Because he don't want to see you in these curses no more. He don't want to see you not serving him with joyfulness and gladness of heart no more, man. He don't want you to serve your enemies. Guess what? The one of all things. You supposed to want him for the one of all things. But guess what? You rather sacrifice for a fool, and now that's why you serving him, than sacrifice for the Most High God, man. You get what you get, right? Now watch this. I'm going to go back to it. It's Sirach chapter 35, verse 8 from the top. Give the Lord his honor with a good eye. That's why we went to Deuteronomy 28:47, right? And it says, diminish not the first fruits of thine hands. Let's go to Genesis, man. Go to Genesis, man. Let's see what you put in the eye real quick. Psalms 141:2. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as an incense, and lifting up on my hands as the evening sacrifice. Man, hey, man, for real. You see, he said, let my prayer be as an incense, man. Guess what? That's what they used to do back in then. That's what the Levites used to do, man. That's a good precept, man. Damn good precept, Bob, man. He said, let my prayer be that thing. Let that be guess what? The thing that cleanses me from sins, man, and washes me from iniquity, right? But watch this. Going back to that Sirach, man. It said, matter of fact, let me go back and read it one more time, man. Salakia. It says, and diminish not the first fruits of thine hands, right? So let's go to Genesis, man, chapter 4. Start at verse 5, man. Start at verse 4. Genesis chapter 4, verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstling of his flock, and of the fat thereof, and the Lord had respect unto Abel, and to his offering. See, back then, they was actually giving a cattle offering, man. He gave his first, man. The Lord said, don't diminish from the first fruits. Anything that you get first, anything like the new precept, hey, give it to the Most High God, right? Anything that you learn new in this truth, give it to the Most High God. Anything that you earned in this world, give it to the Most High God, man. When my son was born, guess what? I thanked the Most High God for these things. I thanked him when I even knew the thought that he was going to be here. I gave him to the Most High God. Hey, however you want to raise this boy, man, I just please pray you put it on my spirit to do so. These are the things that you got to do to the Most High God, man. Give him your first, man. Right? He said, hey, Abel, he was pleased with Abel's offering because why? He gave the firstlings of his flock, man. He gave the first things that ever, hey, he gave the best of his best, right? He said, but unto Cain and to his offering, he had not respect. Let's see why. And Cain was very wroth and his countenance fell, man. So guess what? Cain didn't give his first. He probably gave some scrubs, some scrimps. He gave the thorns and thistles, man, when the Most High God required the grapes. He required a lot of things, man. This is what he required. Hey, I want you first. Is that hard to give the Lord? When you wake up in the morning, is it hard to throw up a prayer? Not only for yourself, but thanking the Most High God you woke up. Thanking the Most High God to be in this truth again, to know the precepts as soon as you wake up, man. And Lord willing, hey, he putting it on you in your spirit while you sleep. Give the Lord the mighty sacrifice that he deserves, man. Give it with honor, with a good eye. Don't diminish from the first fruits. Why? Because Cain did the same thing, right? Now he wroth. Now he mad. His countenance don't fail. Now he like, damn, why he doing me like this? Damn, Abel gave his first and he was chilling. I gave him this and he didn't accept it. Why? Man, he didn't even understand the Most High God wanted his first, and Cain wasn't willing to give it up. That's why I said, what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your first for the Most High God, man? Well, come on now. Verse 7. If thou do well, shalt thou not be accepted? Guess what? If you make your body a living sacrifice, shall you not be accepted of the Most High God in the things that he's willing to give you? He's willing to give you the kingdom, man. Everlasting life. And all he asking for you is just to read in the morning. Pray in the morning. That's it. Guess what? Everybody got different administrations, different titles. He just might want you to just fringe clothes. Make that your first to the Most High God, man. Give brothers and sisters the opportunity to keep the commandments. And read. And guide your household. That's your sacrifice for the Most High God. Are you willing to do it? Brother, guess what? Your office might be, hey, you got to be a reader. You got to be a teacher. Or guess what? You just might got to be the best side holder. Guess what? The guest post holder, the best recorder. Guess what? The best, hey, anything, right? The best sharer online, man. You a good phone tech, man. You can get things to the media faster than anybody. Are you willing to do it for the Most High God? Are you willing to make a post about something else? Or are you willing to learn something else? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice for the Most High God, man? Sacrifice your body in the righteous way, man. Because he said, if thou do it well, shalt thou not be accepted? If you do the right thing, you gonna get accepted, man. And he said, if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. Come on now. Because you know if you don't give the first to the Most High God, something always happen that day, man. Something always go wrong. Let's say you just get up and you don't pray. You rushing to work. Guess what? You probably done spilled your coffee now. Guess what? Boss probably mad at you. Wife probably mad at you. Kids probably tripping. You never know what's going to go on that day. Because sin lying at the door now. Now you might have been dodging lusty concupiscence now, but now you just see a bad sister. She just got in at work today. I gotta go holler at her. But if you prayed and hey, guess what? If you prayed that morning, if you read your Bible, most like God would have put it on your spirit to read a precept about dodging lust and concupiscence. But since you didn't give him your first, now sin lying at the door, man. Watch this. It says, and sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Because that's what's going to rule over you, man. Sin. Guess what? We know the wages of sin is death. Are you willing to die just to not give your first? Hey, man, when I tell you we make these classes, man, hey, brothers and say, we don't just make them for y'all. We make them for ourselves, man. Are we willing to sacrifice our bodies to give up these things that we used to, hey, do all the time for the Most High God? I know I always used to buy on Fridays and Saturdays. It was a must. I just got paid. It's time to go crazy. But I'm willing to sacrifice that. I'm willing to keep some money in my pocket And I'm willing to do the things pleasing to the Most High God, man. I'm willing to sacrifice that. Guess what? I'm willing to sacrifice not going to the NFL, not aspiring for a football career. Why? Because they have to play on Saturdays. And I'm not willing to give that up for the Most High God, man. Well, I'm willing to give that up for the Most High God. Salakia. Guess what? All these things. Guess what? I used to talk to a lot of females back in the world. I used to do all these things back in the world. I used to drink. I used to drink to get drunk. I used to go to parties. I used to do all these things, right? I used to smoke. I'm willing to sacrifice all that for the Most High God now, man. And these are the things that you have to be willing to do now. Guess what? I'm willing to be a man in my household, to guide my household properly. I'm willing to keep the law, statute, commandments to the best of my ability. Why? So that, hey, the Most High God can give us the increase, so I can make my body a living sacrifice for him, man. Let's go back to Sirach, man, chapter 35. And we're going to read verse 9. Sirach chapter 35, verse 9. And all thy gifts show a cheerful countenance, and dedicate thy tithes with gladness. That's going right back into that verse 8, man. We can go to Deuteronomy 28:47, man. Verse 10. Give unto the Most High according as he hath enriched thee, and as thou hast gotten. Give with a cheerful eye. But watch this. Verse 11, man. Once you give with a cheerful eye, once you're doing things pleasing to the Most High God, he's enriching you. He's giving you wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Guess what? He might be building up your household. He might be giving all the wisdom to your children, to your wife, to you, to your congregation. He might just gave you a raise, man. A spiritual raise and a physical raise now. So instead of 22, you're making 25 now. That extra $3, hey, that's going far now. Now you're able to give a little bit more on the arms. Now you're able to help build up a little bit more. Now you're able to take care of yourself a little better. Now you're able to get some more better fringes so you can rock and give the Most High God his all honor and glory, man. Man, come on now. Watch this. Verse 11. It says, for the Lord recompense it and will give thee 7 times as much. For you sacrificing your body, anything that you give to the Most High God, just know he giving it back to you 7 times harder, man. Guess what? Right now in these bodies, right now, these filthy, dirty, sinful bodies, you giving your all. That way, when you make it to the kingdom, he gonna make your body 7 times as better as whatever you needed, man. Man, I'm telling you, we hold them posts. Guess what? We stand out there for hours. Most like I'm gonna give you 7 times as much, right? Your knees probably can only hold 230 pounds, 300, 150. Most like God gonna make it to where your knees can hold up over 2,000, 6,000 pounds. You're gonna be jumping out the roof, man, jumping like Jordan. Come on now. He said he can recompense you 7 times as much. Think about whatever you give to the Most High God and think about the reward 7 times better. You might have gave $20. What's 20 times 7? Come on now. I'm telling you, the Most High God to give it to you, man. You just got to be willing to give it to him. Guess what? You might have put $1 in there. Now you're getting 7 back. Put $2 in there. Now you're getting 14 back, man. That little $20 you gave, now out of nowhere, you get 140. Most I got to give you 7 times as much, man. Even with these bodies, man. You just got to be willing to sacrifice for it, man. Shalom, shalom, sister Odetta, man. Let's get the next precept, man. I ain't even mean to be there that long, man. Hey, but all praise to the Most High, man. Let's go to 1 Samuel, man, chapter 15. Man, Salaki, y'all, man. I've been there for a minute, man. That Sirach is just tough. That's one of my favorite sacrifice precepts, man, because there's just so much to read on it. The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22. And Samuel said, hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord? So he asking a question. He said, well, the Lord got great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices more than just obeying him? He said, behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. Guess what? To obey the Most High God, his law, statute, commandments, is better than any sacrifice you could ever give. He didn't care about the blood of bulls, goats, and rams. He made that for you, so you could save yourself. He gave you a way out, but he always wanted you to keep the law, statute, commandments. He said, this right here, that's better than any sacrifice you could ever give me, man. He said, and to hearken, to just listen, than the fat of rams. Because we got a lot of hard-headed, stiff-head neck brothers and sisters. Guess what? In this truth and definitely in this world, man. Brothers and sisters that's not willing to conform at all. Not willing to make their body their living sacrifice. Not willing to go that extra step, knowing that they can. But they're not willing to do it. Why? Oh, because that's just too much. Maybe the Lord don't want me to do all that. No, the Most High God wants you to do everything. As much as you possibly can do, man. As much as lies in you to do whatever you can, man. Every sweat, every jot, every tittle that's in you to give whatever you can for him. Because he did the same when he sent his son, man. Guess what? Hey, Christ did everything. Guess what? He even died for us. We got to show these same things back for him, man. Come on now. Verse 23. For rebellion. So if you want to go against these things, if you don't want to make your body a living sacrifice, right? If you don't want to go that extra step after mile, right? You're not willing to sacrifice nothing for God, right? It said it's as a sin of witchcraft, man. You committing witchcraft just for being rebellious. And back then, you'd die for witchcraft. So just think about it now. You rebellious now. You rebellious now. So that's sin. The wages of sin is death. And if you're doing openly and willingly, he for sure gonna get you. He might get you right now while you're in this kingdom, but he damn sure gonna get you when he send his son back. Just because you didn't want to sacrifice your body, man. It says, for rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, man. Because thou hast rejected the word of God, he hath also rejected thee from being king. Man, I'm just telling you, man. Now, that's tough, man. See, he was talking about Saul and this thing, but hey, this thing counts for us too. Because guess what? Stubbornness, guess what is as iniquity and idolatry. And we reject the word of the Most High God. Why? When we don't make our body a living sacrifice. He tell you time and time again, guess what? To hearken to me is better than the fat of rams. Guess what? To obey is better than any sacrifice you can give me. But guess what? We don't understand that. We don't read it. We don't care about it. So the Most High God say, hey, I'm going to also reject you. I'm going to reject you from being a king. I'm going to reject you from being a princess. I'm going to reject you from being the thing that you want to be in life. Since you want to reject me, right? I'm telling you, Most High God don't be playing with us, man. We got to show him his due honor, his due credit. If we want the increase how he wants to give it to us, we got to show it first. Let's go to Micah. Chapter 6, verse 6, man. The book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 6. Wherewith shall I come? Wherewith shall I come before the Lord, and how myself before the high God? Salaki, man. Micah chapter 6, verse 6. Wherewith shall I come before the Lord, and how myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings and calves of a year old? He said, man, how should I appear to the Lord? With cow offerings, my firstlings? It said, will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams or tens of thousands of rivers of oil? He asked him, like, well, will the Lord be pleased with this? Will the Lord be pleased with 1,000 rams or 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? Guess what? Should I sacrifice my son? Guess what? Abraham was finna do it. Should I do that? It said, he has showed thee, oh man, what is good. He said, he finna show you. He said, no. He said, no. He showed you what's good. And he said, and what doeth the Lord require of thee? He's showing you what he requires of you, right? He said, no, you don't need the thousands of rams or the 10,000s of rivers of oil or your firstborn. He said, I'm finna show you what he requires. He said, but to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with thy God, man. That's what he wants you to do. To do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly, man. Guess what? Where do you get this also, man? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. Because these are the things the Most High God require of us. That's the thing more pleasing to him than any sacrifice we could give, man. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. And now Israel, what do the Lord thy God require of thee? What does he require of you, man? We know that, hey, obedience is better than sacrifice, so let's see what it requires of us. Let's see if we'll be obedient to it now, man. And now, Israel, what do the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. Because these are the things that's pleasing to the Most High God now, man. Walking in all his ways, man. Keeping his law, statute, commandments. That he doing that for your good. Why? Because when you doing these things, when you walking in the law, statute, commandments, when you making your body a living sacrifice, these are the things pleasing to him. And you will never appear empty before the Lord doing these things. Because back then, he let the things tolerate us. Hey, I'll take that peace offering. That might have been a ram or two. I might have took this. But guess what? He already sent his son to be that main offering. Now he needs you to make your body a living sacrifice now. You don't got to get an altar. You are the altar, man. Sacrifice your body for the Most High God, man. Spiritually and physically, man. Guess what? That's not saying go and literally cut yourself and let some blood drip over. No, that's not what we're talking about, man. That's the last bit of thing that we're talking about, man. It's just to do the commandments, man. Keep the commandments. That's the sacrifice, man. Let's go to Hosea, chapter 6, verse 6. These are the things pleasing to the Most High God now. So if you want to please the Most High God, keep the commandments. You want to please the Most High God, do justly. You want to please the Most High God, hey, do righteous judgment, man. These are the things pleasing to the Most High God more than anything we could ever offer as sacrifice. Because back then, where does the sacrifices ever got us? It got us nowhere. Because guess what? I could just have a bull, a goat, or a lamb, a couple turtle doves in my pocket, and be like, hey, I'm finna go over here and go bang sis up real quick, man. I'm finna go over here and go do this real quick. I got a couple turtle doves. Hey, you need one? Big, come on. I'm finna go do something right here. I'm finna go cheat on my husband. I'll be right back. You need a turtle dove? I got you. I'll go grab you one. Guess what? All these things. Most of God ain't pleased with that no more, man. He wants you to make your body living sacrifice now, man. Let's go to Hosea, man, chapter 6, verse 6. The book of Hosea, chapter 6, verse 6. For I desired mercy and not sacrifice. He just desired mercy, man. Guess what? To know the Most High God got mercy on you, to keep you alive, to keep you breathing, to keep you trying to push this truth, to keep you in the damn truth, man. These are the things that he wants you to sacrifice. Know that his mercy is abounding. The things that's in the deepest part of your brain that you don't want nobody to know. He keeping that hidden, man. Because he got mercy, man. Some of the sins that you know that you should never be forgiven of, he forgave you for these things. All he wants you to do is to make your body the living sacrifice now. To do the things pleasing in his sight now. To do justly, right? To love him. To walk in all his ways. That's how you love him. That's how you sacrifice to him. That's how you bring the fine flour offering, right? The peace offering. Guess what? These are the things that's how you give your offerings now. You ask me how I'm offering. Guess what? Any Old Testament Israelite, New Testament Israelite, how I'm offering my body. Oh, you finna go jump on the altar? No. I'm finna go teach the law, statute, commandments. I'm finna learn with my brothers and sisters, right? I'm finna help my brothers and sisters. And I'm finna do the thing pleasing to the Most High God now. That's how I'm pleasing the Most High God and making my body a living sacrifice. What about you? Come on now. What are you willing to do? It says, for I desire mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of God more than burnt offerings. Come on now. He wanted the knowledge of God more than burnt offerings. He wanted you to learn more about your, man, come on. What is knowledge? Malachi 2 and 7. These are the things the priests now. Guess what? Your pastors. Guess what? Christianity, all these things. This is what they're supposed to be teaching. Come on now. They said, hey, tithes and offerings in the Old Testament, the law is done away with. So why they still doing it? They still giving the sacrifice of fools, man. But you making your body a living sacrifice now. You giving more than just a burnt offering. Why? Because you're giving the knowledge of God now. It said, but they, like men, have transgressed the covenant. There have they dealt treacherously against me. It said like men, just like some damn men. Guess what? Being a natural man, right? According to 2 Ezra chapter 14:13. Being a natural man. Why you got to be a natural man? Guess what? No. Be a spiritual man. Make your body a living sacrifice. Don't deal treacherously against the Most High God no more. Why? Why keep doing him wrong? All he wants you to do is, hey, when you wake up, give me your first. That's not hard to do. You give your wife the first of your love. You give your son the first of everything that you possibly can give him. Because you know anybody that has a son or a daughter, guess what you say? They ain't going to want for nothing. Anything I got, they got, right? You giving them their first. Well, the Most High God did the same thing for you. Are you willing to give it back to him? Because guess what? We sacrifice a lot for ourselves, for our children, for our family. But the Most High God is the one who set all that up. So are you willing to sacrifice for him? That's the big question. That's the title of the class. What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your body for the Most High God? Shoot, I know I am. And I'm gonna do my best to make sure I make the Most High God proud. Why? So when I appear before the Lord, I don't appear before the Lord empty. That's the last thing you want to ever do, is appear before the Lord empty. Because why? He's going to turn and say, depart from me, I never knew you. You worker of iniquity, man. Who wants to hear that from your Lord and Savior? Or you knock on the door and he ain't there to open it. He said he'll open the door and crack it a little bit. Hey, who is you? Oh, I remember me, I was... Nah, man, I don't know you, man. Hey, move on. He going to do like how we do Jehovah Witnesses something now. They knock on your door. Do you have time for your Lord? Bang. He gonna act like he deaf, man. Because you ain't willing to make your body a living sacrifice for him. So what he got to do for you? Let's get the next precept, man. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Got one more precept after this, man. We're going to get a law. The book of Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doeth so easily beset us. Guess what, man? Seeing all these things, right? He said, let us lay aside every weight, man. Let's lay it out there. Let's see what it is. He said, and sin which so easily beset us, because it's easy to get into sin. Guess what? I could think right now and fall into sin, man. I could turn around and be in the sin. Sin is right there at your door. But are you willing to make that sacrifice, man? He said, hey, let's lay aside, right? Let's put that to the side, though. And he said, let us run the race, and let us run with patience unto the race that is set before us. Let's put away all that sin, all that iniquity, all the things that we should do back in the world. Let's put it to the side. Let's make our body a living sacrifice now. Let's run the race that's set before us, right? What's the race? To make it to the kingdom. Because guess what? We all running this race right now. Every brother and sister that's in this truth, Israelites, man, we all in this race right now. Guess what? There's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. But are you willing to make the race, man? Are you willing to sacrifice to run this race? Are you prepared, man? Because, hey, as you know it, we running this race. Guess what? When the track start getting ready for the Olympics, he's running the race. Hey, guess what? That last final 100, he might be running 100, but he's training all 360 days, 359 days in a year for that one day. Guess what? He training all year for that one day. He been training for the race. Guess what? You been reading your Bible. You been studying. You been praying, been fasting, been making your body a living sacrifice. Why? Because that one day when it comes, you don't want to appear before the Lord empty. You want to say, hey, I ran this race and I won. Because guess what? It's up to him to tell you if you won or you lost. You just got to run the race. Come on now. Whether you first, second, or third. Hey, if you make it, you cross that line and you make it through, you win the race, man. Come on now. It says, I read that again. Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which do so easily beset us, and let us run with patience unto the race that is set before us, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, man. Come on now. It said looking unto Yahushua, looking unto Christ, man. Our fellow brethren, man. Our Father, man. Guess what? Person we supposed to look up to. Look unto him, the author and finisher of our faith, right? He showed you what faith was, and he showed you how he finished faith, man. Because guess what? He started with it and he finished with it. How? He said, who for the joy that was set before him. Because, hey, Christ knew what he was coming in on this world for. He knew what he was going to have to sacrifice coming into this world from the beginning to the end. He said, and that was joyful to him. He said, endured the cross. Died for us, man. He sacrificed for us. He knew what was coming. Guess what, brothers and sisters? You know what's coming. You see what the world's going on right now, man. You see people dying left and right, man. You see times getting worse and worse. You see it waxing colder and colder. Guess what? We see these things coming. We see our end. We taking them with joy, man. We're going to endure that cross, right? That way, hey, the Most High God say, hey, well done, my well and faithful servant. You finished the race. Go ahead. Guess what? When you finish the race, you got one of them gates to go through. You got to finish the race, though. You have to finish the race. It said, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God, man. That's a precept for you Christians, man, who thinking, hey, Christ is the Most High God, man. He said despising the shame, man. Come on now. That's tough, man. It says for verse 3, man, for consider him that endures such contradiction of sinners against himself. Guess what? All these people that was in full-fledged sin, man, some of these scribes and Pharisees. Guess what? Even people hate him. How he had a dinner with the thieves and the crooks and the publicans. They was in full-fledged sin. He said contradiction of sinners. They said he was in sin. There was a man found with no guile, no sin or nothing in him. He said, hey, he endured such contradiction. He endured that thing, man. Because us coming into this truth, we making our body living sacrifice, they're going to say, oh, there's something wrong with you. No, it ain't nothing wrong with me. Ah, you in sin. You doing this. God didn't tell you to do that. Yes, he did. You just not willing to do it. I'm going to do it. Hey, look, all the brothers and sisters in here, we going to do it, right? Sister Odetta, guess what? Hey, she going to endure all them contradictions. She going to endure the cross. Guess what? Don Israel, you want to endure these things, right? Because you want to finish the race. You want to make your body a living sacrifice, man. These are the things you want to do pleasing to the Most High God, man. Because yeah, he said, hey, he said, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds, man. Lest you be wearied or faint, man. Guess what? Let the world kind of get to you too much. Well, maybe I am doing the wrong thing. Maybe I'm not supposed to be keeping the Sabbath on Saturday. Maybe I shouldn't be wearing these dresses. Maybe I shouldn't be wearing these fringes. Guess what? Now you worried. Now you weak. Now you faint, man. What's Christ going to do with you as a soldier like that? If you just, I don't know. Because guess what? Now you lukewarm. Now your body ain't a full living sacrifice no more, man. Come on now. Let's do these things pleasing to the Most High God, man. Let's not faint. He said in your minds. Because guess what? It started here. Guess what? Once it started here, now it goes to the whole body, man. Come on now. We got to be headstrong, man. It said, ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. Man, I'm telling you, that's tough, man. That's tough, man. It's tough. What are you willing to sacrifice, man? That's the question. Are you willing to run this race and be patient? Because guess what, man? 359 days, that's a lot of days. That's a lot of hours. That's a lot of minutes, a lot of seconds you got to sacrifice. But are you willing to do it for the Most High God? Guess what? If the kingdom don't end in the next 5 years, 2 years, 50 years, are you willing to run that race? Are you willing to endure to the end? Are you willing to endure that cross? These are the things we got to ask ourselves, man. Get the last precept, man. Just flip over a page. Hebrews chapter 12. Chapter 13, Salakia. We're going to start at verse... We're going to start at verse 11. The book of Hebrews chapter 13, verse 11. For the bodies of those beasts whose blood is brought into the sanctuary by the high priest for sin are burnt without the camp, right? So it is going back into the old times, back when we used to sacrifice, right? It's showing, hey, they got burnt without the camp, right? Watch this, verse 12. Wherefore Yahushua also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, man. Suffered without the gate. Why? Because, hey, he didn't have everybody with him when he died. Guess what? Some of his people was the ones killing him and persecuting the one who hung him up. He said, hey, Yahweh shall also be in that sacrifice for his people. Sanctify the people with his own blood, man. That's what he did for us, giving us grace, mercy, man, and the opportunity to continue to repent, get back to the law, such commandments, continue to look for another day, man. Continue to run the race each and every day. Every day you wake up till you going to sleep, you running that race. By the time you wake up and do it again, it's a cycle. You got to run that race. You got to make your body a living sacrifice, because he did it with us joyfully, like how we read in Hebrews chapter 12. He did it with joy. You have to do it with joy. Why? If not, we fall back into them curses. Deuteronomy 28 and 47 all day. Genesis 4 and 4. You're not giving your first. You Cain now. You supposed to be Abel. Come on now. We got to get past these things, Israel. It says, let us go, therefore. Verse 13, let us go, therefore, unto him without the camp, bearing his reproach. It says, for here have we no continuing city, but we seek one to come. Guess what? We might be running this race right now. We might not see and even fathom what the kingdom will be like. But we still going to run, because why? We have no continuing city. We don't have nothing building here. Guess what? We had Black Wall Street. Cool. We had places, guess what, in the Big Apple, right, in New York. Guess what, in, I can't think of the park, Central Park. We had all these things. We had certain cities. We had things building up. But guess what? It never lasted. Why? Because this is not our continuing city. A continuing city is going to keep being built upon, man. Right now, we're building a nation. So that way, when we get to these things and when we get the kingdom, this is the continuing city. This is a continuing city. All these things are building and flourishing. Why? Because it's ours now. But how do we get it? Making your bodies a living sacrifice, man. Christ did it. It's your turn now. It's up to us. Are you willing? What are you willing to sacrifice? The Most High God was willing to sacrifice his son for us. So what are you willing to do for him? Verse 14, for we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. We're seeking the kingdom. These are the things that we're running for, right? Verse 15, by him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to God continually. These are the things that we're offering, the praise to God continually. How do we praise him? By keeping his law, statutes, commandments. By walking in all his ways, right? By fearing him, right? By loving our brothers and sisters, man, the children of Israel. By giving sacrifices, man. The sacrifice of your body, man. By giving alms, man. By doing all these things pleasing to the Most High God. This is how you give the sacrifice of praise to God continually, man. Not just when you feel like it. All the time, man. That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name. It says, but to do good and to communicate, forget not. For with such sacrifice, God is well pleased, man. Come on now. Read that again, man. It said, for they that, salaki, but to do good and to communicate, forget not. For with such sacrifice, man, do good, man. It said, but to do good and to communicate, forget not. Guess what? Do good. Spread this truth. Spread this gospel, man. Spread the good word. Make other brothers and sisters' bodies a living sacrifice, man. Show them the right way. Show them the things of how we do it, man. Let's make the Most High God proud, man. Let's make Israel a strong nation again. Think about all these, man, come on now. We know how we actually doing the Olympics, man. We got Jamaica. We got the U.S. We got all these countries and nations lined up. We know they all Israel. Think about how strong we would look as a nation, making all our bodies a living sacrifice to the Most High God. Man, come on now. He might cut the race short. Instead of running 100 meters, he might make it a 20 meter. That's all I needed y'all to do. Boom, we out of here. Y'all won. You go through this kingdom. Hey, Don Israel, hey, you going through Judah. Guess what, Sis Odetta, you thought you was Judah. Guess what, go to Benjamin. Hey, Donovan, hey, you thought you was Judah and Benjamin. But guess what, you Naphtali. All right, Shuba, I'm gone. Let's run the race, man. Let's see what's at the end, man. All people wanted to chase the rainbow. Chase the Most High God. See what's at the end. Let's see what's at the end. He already told us what it was. But hey, Most High God, hey, we try the most High God try us. Guess what he said? Hey, try me, see if I'm alive. Most High God, hey, come on now, let's do it. Let's do it, man. Let's run that race. It said, for with such sacrifice, God is well pleased. He's pleased by these things, man. He pleased by you, hey. Guess what? Giving the sacrifice of praise continually, man. Making your body a living sacrifice. Giving all these things for the Most High God, man. These are the things he's pleased with. We just got to keep giving it to him each and every day, man. Why? Watch this. Man, I just found this precept too. And guess what? I'm going to give it to the Most High God, man. All praises that he gave me the precept, man. Watch this. The book of Psalms, chapter 112, verse 1. Praise ye the Lord. Blessed is the man that feareth the Lord, that delighteth greatly in his commandments. It says, blessed is that man that feareth the Most High God, man. That's making his body a living sacrifice, right? Blessed is a sister that's keeping the commandments and making their bodies a living sacrifice. It says, his seed shall be mighty upon earth. Guess what? Your children is going to be mighty, man. You might be a good preceptor, man. Your son is going to be a whiz, man. You might be a good teacher, man. Your son is going to be great. Guess what? You might be a captain, officer, deacon. Guess what? Any of these things, man, your son is going to aspire for more. Man, he said your seed is going to be mighty upon earth, man. Guess what, man? Hey, that's the, man, come on now. He said the generation of the upright shall be blessed. Because that's going to be our generation of the upright, right? All of our children that should be walking in the law, statutes, commandments. That's going to be the generation of the upright. That's our next generation. These are the things we got to look forward to. The things that we aspire to, man. It says, wealth and riches shall be in his house. Guess what? Wealth and riches is going to be in the households. Guess what? Wealth and riches, hey, that's going into, hey, be physical too. Have a lot of money. Guess what? Now you're making ends meet. You couldn't make them meet before. But now you're in the truth. Things is happening for you. But guess what? Think about how much knowledge and wisdom and understanding is going through that household at all times, man. Y'all know how bad pork is. Y'all know how bad shrimp, crab, and lobster is. Now y'all bodies is healthy now, man. Now your body is literally a living sacrifice, man. Now y'all all keeping the Sabbath. Now y'all loving one another. Now y'all true husband and wives now. Now your children are truly children of the Most High God, man. More importantly. Now we're doing the things that the Lord is pleased with. And now he's blessing you because of these things, man. He's making your seed mighty upon the earth. And guess what? He's giving wealth and riches going to be in your household. And his righteousness endureth forever. Come on now. Like, come on. I could read that whole thing, man. The Most High God is, hey, he does the things for his people if you're doing the things for him, man. But, hey, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice to get the things pleasing to the Most High God, man? What are you willing to give up so that he can give it to you 7 times more? 7 times better than whatever you could even fathom about, man. That's the question, man. It should be your body. But with that, man, we're going to say shalom, man. All praise and brothers and sisters that are tuned in, man. I know it was late. Shalom, Sister Mariah, man. Got in here kind of late today, man, but all praises that y'all was even able to tune in to watch, man. Like, share, subscribe, man. Help us push this truth. Hey, keep making your body a living sacrifice, man. Day in and day out continually, man. Guess what the Most High God said? Blessed are they that keepeth his commandments at all times, right? Not just when you want to. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. I gotta get it. Salakia, Israel. I'm gonna go to Psalms real quick, 106. The book of Psalms, chapter 106, verse 3. Blessed are they that keep judgment, and he that doeth righteousness at all times. Because guess what? That's the Most High God. He said, you blessed when you do these things at all times, man. Make your body a living sacrifice at all times, man. It might be hard. The world might be conflicting. But make your body a living sacrifice, man. Give it up for the Most High God, man. Sacrifice it for the Most High God. Because guess what? Your treasure and the things that you run into, the things you run into with patience that's set before us, is 7 times better than whatever you could think of. Think of the kingdom in your head right now and the Most High God gonna make it 7 times better, man. Picture your body in the kingdom, and he gonna make it 7 times better. The things how you look at yourself right now, it's all gonna be seven times better. Down in Israel, you know I'm not gonna forget that law, man. But I just had to pull another precept. Nah, I'm definitely not missing out on that law. But like I said, man, all praise the brothers and sisters that are tuned in today, man. I just hope this class was edifying, man, and it fed the spirit well. You know, I had a couple classes lined up, but hey, this is kind of one of the classes that touched me the most, man. Getting back to these things, right? Because I felt a little slothful last week, you know. Had to build myself back up, man. Make my body the living sacrifice again, man. I was giving the world too much, and I wasn't giving the Most High God much first. So we gotta fix these things. It's a constant battle. That's why I pulled of just man gonna fall 7 times, but you gotta rise up again. You can't fall into mischief, man. You can't be like you can't be wicked no more. It's time to step up, man. Step up as a man, step up as a woman, step up as a child, and show the Most High God His praise, right? But here at the Battle Axes, man, we always end with a law. The law today is gonna be Deuteronomy 10 and 12. We pulled it earlier. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12. And now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him. These are the things that's pleasing to the Most High God in his sight, man. Guess what? Walking, fearing him, walking in all his ways, loving him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. When you doing these things, you giving him your first, man. How do you love the Most High God? Deuteronomy 11 and 1. 1 John 5 and 3. John 14 and 15. Keeping his commandments. Guess what? These are the things pleasing to the Most High God, right? Verse 13. To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. This is the good thing, man. This is the good sacrifice that you should be getting. That you should be giving, man. The race we're running patiently, it's not going to come how we want it to. It's going to be a long race, and we got to endure it to the end. Guess what? The Most High God can bring the kingdom of heaven tomorrow. But what are you willing to sacrifice so that you can make it there? That's the question, man. Thank you, brothers and sisters that I had to give to the GoFundMe and the Cash App. Hey, that money is being greatly used to the building of our kingdom, man. Guess what? The building of our building, that way we can get the things paid for. Guess what? Now we keep brothers and sisters in the building, right? Now we have enough funds to go to different cities, right? Different cities that, hey, brothers and sisters might be from, right? I know we got brothers and sisters in California, Louisiana, Memphis, Houston, that's what, Austin, all these things. We want to go everywhere and preach this word, right? But hey, we got to keep getting these arms in, man. Hey, spiritual arms, physical arms, man. Pray fast for brothers and sisters, man. Help us build up this nation again as a nation of Israel, man. Guess what? Physical arms, man. If you have the means for it, hey, give accordingly, right? That's what the Most High God said. He going to bless you 7 times more. Guess what? Don't do it for man. Do it for the Most High God. Think about the ministry, what you building up with these things, man. Just think about it. But hey, thank you, brothers and sisters that tuned in, man. I hope y'all have a rest of your good day. I know it's nighttime. A lot of y'all probably going to sleep or getting ready to go to work, or however the time may be, wherever y'all at. I just thank y'all for tuning in, man. I pray the Most High God continue to give y'all the increase. And hey, Lord willing, y'all see me next week, man. And with that, man, we're going to say shalom, man.